When people have been removed from education for quite a while, maybe their IT skills, their basic IT skills may not be up to scratch, up to speed. The desktop applications, how to properly and effectively use a web browser, all of these things can be addressed in the first number of weeks. And with I suppose the likes of the induction, the orientation, but also off-site that they could do in their own time to help them develop and get the most out of the IT truly.
I think for the online databases in particular, some kind of visual representation of how the process works would be helpful. The staff are very approachable and that makes a big difference to students, but they can't always rely on staff. And when students are on their own, often they've forgotten the steps, they've forgotten where they go next in locating information.
I suppose it might be useful to have a little glossary which explains online to users what we're actually talking about when a librarian talks about renewing a book or holding a book, putting a book on short loan, taking a book from a lecturer's material.
And I do think that we don't use technology enough. The technology's there and the information is there, and the students are there, we just have to tie it all up.
Yeah. But we must also be aware of the fact that new users to the library may be a little scared of technology initially, and there is a place for the human communication in the early stages of their relationship with the library.
If if they could log on to some resource, that if they were doing engineering, maybe the first thing would be all the sections that are dedicated to engineering, and then they could filter that down to maybe manufacturing or civil or construction. Sure. And to within areas inside that, then that would be simple, and maybe a little a schematic of the library that came up and said, okay, this is the section you go to for your book.
Yeah, well, certainly making PowerPoint presentations available to students on Blackboard, detailing all of the various resources in the library and how they can access it, that they can peruse these resources at home.
I think another nice idea might be if the library staff were to promote, let's say, a questionnaire for new students that would be coming in for the first time, where they ask a series of questions very similar along the line that Brian has suggested. What's your level of competency perhaps on PC? Have you used library services before? Are you familiar with the library process that we use here in Tralee and the facilities that we have? Are you comfortable with using a PC? Because some people that would be actually returning to education may not be too comfortable with with a laptop or a desktop application.